Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to those in Uzbekistan. I think it's still 9 o'clock in Uzbek, and it's already 10, 12 in uh, Indonesia. How are you today?
Fine.
Yeah, hopefully you're all fine. Uh, wait. Wait. Okay. Together with us today is Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim. He is from Faculty of Law at our university and currently serves as the Vice Rector of Academic Affairs. Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim will share with us anything related to the Indonesian adat law. So maybe later it will be something new to you in Uzbekistan, and maybe we also will find some similarities. And then if you have differences, then please tell us later. Without further ado, let me call Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim to deliver the presentation. Time is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Yusuf. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good
Salam.
morning, all. Hammakhandai. Okay, thank you for the opportunity that has given to me. My name is Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim. So I'm lecturer at Faculty of Law, Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo University. Before I start my presentation, I thank to the Faculty of International and Comparative Law, Tashkent State University of Law, Uzbekistan, and Faculty of Letter, Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh Situbondo, Indonesia, who have trusted me to provide material explanation about adat law in Indonesia. Happy to be here and provide new knowledge to all of you who are here about one of the legal system in Indonesia, namely adat law. So the speech I will convey is about adat law, namely the law that is indeed developing and living in Indonesia. I want to share my material. Okay, this is map, Indonesian map. Indonesia is a very big country, has a length of 5,110 kilometers. It has a width of 1,880 kilometers, has approximately 17,000 islands with 1,000 ethnic groups and 700 regional languages, total population 270 million. 87% the population is Muslim. So Indonesian using four legal system. So this is the Indonesian legal system. We're using four legal system. The first is European legal system. The second is Islamic legal system. The third, national legislation, and the fourth is adat law system. I want to explain first about the four legal system that apply in Indonesia, and the first is European legal system. So I want to telling the short story to you why European legal system using in Indonesia. In 1789, France experienced the French Revolution. We always know that in 1800, Napoleon Bonaparte has become the first consulate of France. And Napoleon Bonaparte codified the law in France into the three parts. The first is called the Penal Code. The second is civil code. The third is commerce code. The penal code is the relationship between the individual and the state, while the civil code is the relationship between the individual and the individual, and commerce code is the relationship between individual to individual in trading. In 1830, France colonized the Netherlands and then used the principle of concordance to apply its law to the Netherlands. Excuse me, sir, maybe we can take a break because Adhan.
It's Adhan now here, so let's have a break for 3 or 4 minutes. Okay. Let's continue the discussion.
Okay, I
Hello.
continue. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
So in 1830.
Can you start the screen sharing?
Oh yeah, sir. Wait a minute. So okay, in 1830, France colonized the Netherlands and then used the principle of concordance to apply the law to the Netherlands. So the principle of concordance is the law that apply in a country will also apply in its colonies. France control of the Netherlands until 1839
Share link
for
siapa tuh
9
Pak
years.
Yusuf.
So this is three different laws: penal code, civil code, and commerce code valid in Netherlands. In the same years, 1839, the Netherlands was free from French colonization. In 1840, the Netherlands translated three French laws called into the Dutch language. They were Wetboek van Strafrecht, Burgerlijk Wetboek, and Wetboek van Koophandel. Because the Netherlands has a colony called Netherlands as Indies, today is Indonesia. These three laws are also enforced in the colony using the principle of concordance. So in short story, in 1945, Indonesia became independent, and there were provisions in Article 1 of the transitional rule for the 1945 Constitution, which stated that all existing law and regulation were still valid as long as new ones were not promulgated according to this Constitution. So this article aimed to prevent a legal vacuum, meaning that if the current law and regulation do not regulate new provisions, the regulations that were in effect before independence are still effect. So that the translation of the three Dutch regulation, Wetboek van Strafrecht, become Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Pidana in Indonesia, or a book of criminal law. Burgerlijk Wetboek become Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Perdata, or a book of civil law, and Wetboek van Koophandel turned into a commercial law code in Indonesia, Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Dagang. That is still used in Indonesia to this day. Today, we still use the three that law. So there is a story of how the European legal system applied in Indonesia. The second legal system is to use the Islamic legal system, meaning that the system of rule is based on revelation of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad regarding to behavior of the mukallaf, namely people who can already be benefit, recognize and believe obligation that are binding on all adherent of Islamic law. The Islamic legal system implemented in Indonesia because the majority of the Indonesian population is Muslim. And then I start to get into the material that would give, namely, adat law in Indonesia. The fourth is adat law. Oh, sorry, I forget the third. The third is national legislation. National legislation is national law and regulation, namely law and regulation that are indeed made by the Indonesian government. The fourth is adat law. So this is the main issue. Adat law is customary law, which is a series of rules that bind us to a society that is not written and come from habit that grow and develop in particular society, which is then accepted into law from generation to generation. Adat is cultural idea that consists of cultural values. Excuse me, maybe take a break. Okay, continue. Adat is a culture idea that consists of culture values, institutional norm, custom, and customary laws that regulate human behavior between one another. It is commonly carried out in community group. Customs that have sanction are called adat law, while those that do not have sanction are called customary habit, which are the highest position of behavior because they are eternal and very strongly integrated into the community that has them. Violence of this custom will receive hard sanction from other member. In terms of terminology, there are two opinions regarding the origin of the word adat. On the one hand, there is a claim that adat is taken from Arabic language, which means habit. Well, according to Amora, this term come from Sanskrit or Sanskerta, because according to him, this term has been used by the Minangkabau people, one of trip in Indonesia less than 2,000 years ago. Adat law was first proposed by Snop Hurgrons, an Eastern literary expert from Netherlands. Before the term adat law developed, the term adat law was first known in his book, The Aceh, stating that the law of Indonesian people that was not codified was the Aceh. Later, this term was used by Cornelis van Vollenhoven, a literary scholar who is also a law scholar too, who served as a professor at Leiden University in the Netherlands. He included the term adat in his book entitled Adat Recht van Nederland Indisch in the year of 1901 until 1933. The legislation in Netherlands in this officially used the term adat recht in 1929 in the Indisch Wetregeling, namely the legal regulation of the Netherlands, such as the Netherlands is in this constitution in Article 134, paragraph 2, which come into force in 1929. In Indonesia society, the term adat law is not known. Hilman Hadikusuma, is expert in Indonesia, adat law. He said that the term is only a technical term because it is only said to be so because the term only grew and is developed by legal experts in order to examine the law that applies in Indonesian society, which is then developed into a scientific system. In English, the term adat law is also known, but development in Indonesia are only known as adat. They refer to a legal system within the scientific word is called adat law. Okay, all right. Now we will enter into the understanding of adat law. Understanding from several expert opinion or from Indonesia dictionary. According to the Indonesian dictionary, adat are rule or action that have been commonly followed or carried out since time immemorial, whether it is a way of behavior that has become habit or a form of cultural idea consisting of cultural values, legal norm, and rules that are related to one another into a culture system. Because the term adat has been absorbed into Indonesian language into a habit. The term adat law can be equated with customary law. However, according to Van Dijk, it is not appropriate to define adat law as customary law. According to him, customary law is a complex of legal regulation that arise because habit means that for so long people can behave in a certain way, so that rule is born, that is accepted and also desired by the community. So according to Van Dijk, adat law and customary law have a different. Meanwhile, according to Sujono Sukanto, expert from Indonesia, adat law is essentially customary law, but habit have legal consequence. Dutch language is mean das zijn and das sollen. In contrast to habit in the usual sense, habit which are the application of adat law are actions that are repeated in the same form, leading to rewarding ordering the same living in Dutch law. It means action they are repeated in the same form. So Cornelis van Vollenhoven defines adat law as the whole position of a positive code of conduct which on the one hand has sanction in law and the other hand is not codified. It's called adat. Van Vollenhoven places adat law as a science. So there is position is parallel to other law in a positive legal regime. Terhar, expert from Netherlands, limit adat law as law that cover all regulation they are embodied in the decision of legal official who have authority and influence. And in their implementation, they apply immediately and are obeyed wholeheartedly by those who are regulated by the law, the decision. In his scientific oration at the Disnatalis Recht School de Batavia in 1930, Terhar then explained that adat law is born and maintained by the decision of adat people, especially the authoritative decision of the head of the people, adat heads, who assist in the implementation of action, legal action, or in the case of conflict of interest, decision of judge in educating dispute. As long as this decision do arbitrariness or lack of understanding do not conflict with people legal belief, but are in line with that awareness, accepted knowledge, or at least not tolerance. He also explained that the applicable adat law can only be known and seen in the decision of the legal functionaries. The decision is not only a decision regarding an official dispute, but also outside and is based on deliberation or harmony. This decision is take based on the values that live in accordance with the spiritual nature and social life of the member of fellowship. Cornelis van Vollenhoven. You have not moved your slide. Still that one. Yes. Excuse me. Okay, I continue. This decision is taken based on the value that live in accordance with the spiritual nature and social life of the member of fellowship. Cornelis van Vollenhoven divided Indonesia into 19 area of adat law. And that ranges they call rechtringen. An area is customary law. Environment is divided into several sections called Kukuba law. In Dutch, Rechtsgrow. So this is the adat law environment in Indonesia is as follows: 19 from Aceh until West Java. Okay, I wanna. Okay, this is a map of Indonesia. Aceh, beer. This is Aceh. So Van Vollenhoven, they make 19 area in Indonesia. Aceh, Tanah Gayo, Tanah Minangkabau, Mentawai, Sumatera Selatan, Tanah Melayu, Bangka Belitung, Kalimantan, and then Kalimantan, Gorontalo, Sulawesi in here, Maluku in here, Irian in here, Kepulauan Timur, Bali and Lombok in here, Java and Madura in here, Royal Area in here, and West Java in here. They have unique in Indonesia, and actually they have Royal Area, Surakarta and Yogyakarta. Indonesian society is a pluralistic society consisting of one various ethnic group, religion, different culture, which are one unity within the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia. Long before independence of the Republic of Indonesia on August 17, 1945, the people of Indonesia are scattered throughout Indonesia, various islands, and are subject to the respective adat law and culture. These are some photo of the trip in Indonesia. The first is a photo of Hamangkubuwono. The first is photo Hamangkubuwono. Hamangkubuwono is the king of Yogyakarta or the Sultan of Yogyakarta. This is unique in Indonesia because there are kingdom in the state, so we call it state in the state. And the under of picture of Hamangkubuwono is Papua tribe, and this is Dayak tribe. Above it is the Madura, and the under is this one of the cleanest village in the world, with its location on the island of Bali. The village is called Panglipuran village. Adat law was born, grew, and developed from Indonesian society, and it is one of the positive law that do not written. The law of a nation is a picture or reflection of the culture of the nation concerned, because law is part of culture. By understanding adat law as well, it is hoped that clarify the understanding of adat law as an aspect of culture Indonesian nation. Okay, let us get into the explanation pattern and nature of adat law. There are magic and religious. This state is defined as a mindset based on religious, namely people's belief about the existence of something sacred. Before indigenous people knew religion, this religion's nature was manifest in an illogical way of thinking, animism, and belief in things occult according to the belief of the people at the time, that in this universe, this thing have soul or animism. This thing have the power of motion, dynamic. Around human life, there are spirit subtle that offers human life, and nature exists before someone create, that is the creator. Therefore, every human will decide around conflict at work asking for blessing. The creator with the hope that he work goes according to as desired, and if you follow taboos, you can result in punishment, a curse from God Almighty. Magical trait this religion is the belief of the people who do not know separation of the word of birth is fact with the ancient word. This trait requires society to always maintain a balance between the word with the inner word. After the indigenous people know religion, then the religious nature is manifest in form of belief to God Almighty. People are starting to believe that every behavior there will be a reward and punishment from God. The trust continue in modern society. As an illustration, can be seen in every decision of the judiciary or judicative, which always include a clause for the sake of justice based on God Almighty One, even though the clause is because the regulation require it. Communal. According to the view of adat law, every individual member of the community is an integral part of society as a whole. Connection between member of one society and another based on feeling togetherness, kinship, help, and mutual cooperation. The adat law community believes that every individual interest should be adjusted to the interest of the community because there is no individual detached from society. Concrete. Concrete nature means clear, real, tangible, and visual, meaning visible, exposed, not hidden. This means that every legal relationship that occur in society does not done secretly. An example of buying and selling always show the existence real action, namely by transferring the object of the agreement. Different with the Western law, which recognize the difference between object movable with immovable object, wherein the sale and purchase agreement responsibility for an item has passed to the buyer, even though the item is still in the hand of the seller. Cash. This thread has the meaning that an action is always covered by a very concrete atmosphere, especially in terms of fulfilling achievement, that every accomplishment of achievement is always accompanied by counter-achievement given immediately. Achievement and counter-achievement are carried out separately together at that time, the time too. In adat law, everything that occur before and after making and receiving cash is outside as a result of the law. The legal action has been complete immediately. Characteristic of adat law. There are five characteristics of adat law. The first is traditional. The traits show that indigenous people are hereditary from the time of the ancestor to the children and grandchildren. Now the situation is still remain valid and maintained by the community concerned. This hereditary regulation has noble privilege as respected heritage because it must be preserved continuously. Violence of something received from the violence of something received from the ancestor is believed can wreak havoc on society. The traditional style until now still maintained can be seen in the Batak community in Indonesia, where it is not allowed to marry in the same clan. Dynamic. Adat law can change according to the circumstance of time and place. Every the development of the legal community will always adapt according to with the development. The third characteristic is open. Adat law has an open nature. There is adat law can accept another legal system as long as the community consider that the other legal system is appropriate. The fourth is simple. It means that the adat law community is simple, not complicated administration, unwritten, easy to understand, and implemented based on trust each other. This can be seen in transactions that only done verbally, including in the case of inheritance distribution, rarely done in writing. Deliberation and consensus. This means that indigenous people prioritize deliberation and consensus. In resolving dispute, it is always priorities to settle amicably and peacefully by deliberation and consensus. The adat law system include the following. Does not distinguish between public law and private law. In contrast to European law, which distinguishes between law that are public and private law, whereas public law which concern the public interest and private law that they regulate individual interests or regulate relations between communities with the other. In adat law, there is no distinction like that. And the second is does not distinguish material right at that language. They call zakelijk rechten and individual right, personal rechten. According to Western or European law, it's a person who has the right to an object. He's in power or free to act on his property because he has the right individual over his property rights. But according to adat law, material rights and individual rights are not absolute as a personal rights because they are related to family relationship and his kinship. The third is does not distinguish between civil and criminal violence. In adat law, in case of civil law violence and violence of law, criminal law is decided at once by a legal functionary. This is different from Western law where violent civil cases are examined and decided by temporary civil judge. Criminal offense are examined and decided by the judge criminal. Basically, Indonesian people are people who want peaceful, quiet life with a harmonious arrangement, as in the traditional cosmic realm of truth, which means that humans are part of nature. Within no separation process between various field life, politics, economy, social, legal, and so on. Nature of mind described in adat law, so that the main element of nature, this traditional truth, become part of the adat law system. Adat law community in Indonesia. The law and regulation in Indonesia, the legal society adat is defined as a group of people who are bound by the legal order. The custom is as a joint citizen of legal alliance because of similarities, resident, or the basic of descent. If based on this understanding, then other people have following criteria. The first is there is a group of people who are bound by the adat law order. Second, they are community member who are citizen with the adult legal society, and the third legal society based on resident or basic descendant. The difference between the adult law community and society in general as follow. There are 9 different. The first, the indigenous law community authority decide whether an act is a legal act or decide a dispute that occur between its member according to adult law, according to custom with the group deemed appropriate. The second is curtain people of individual in a legal community adult law perform and act the entire indigenous law community, it will gain or suffer a loss. Third, in the adult law community, against object, land, water, land, as well as building that must be maintained together, keep clean together from supernatural force. Only the member of the community concerned can benefit from what is referred to in point 3. The existence of indigenous law community is a meta reality judicial which is filled by its member as necessity nature, meaning that the customary law community arises spontaneously. In the indigenous law community, there will be not two of the possible of disbanding indigenous people. If an outsider who is not a member of the indigenous community want to enjoy land, and from indigenous people must give something to as a sign of acknowledge of outsider to the right of the community, the custom. In indigenous people, there is community structure that are characteristic of that society. Indigenous people are at the bottom of society in Indonesia. The main element of the existence of the adult law community, that is first, the existence of a group of people who live together regularly as one common unity. Second, the group of people is one and subject to the legal order, the custom. Third, the existence of a leader, rule of the group. The fourth is existence of areas with currently territory boundaries. The fifth, the attachment of the group is based on the same place of resident or descendant. Basic and form of adult law community. Indonesian customary law communities can be divided into 3 groups according to their composition, namely based on relationship, heredity, or genealogy. Genealogy legal society is a group of people which members are born by the same lineage from one good ancestor directly because of blood relation or ties of marriage. This genealogical affinity is distinguished into 3 hereditary ties. There is patrilineal. The name is patrilineal. And the second matrilineal. And the third is bilateral or parental. Patrilineal, namely the legal community according to the male lineage, in which the order of ties is drawn according to lineage father. This form of society is born in Batak Trip, Lampung, Bali, Nusa Tenggara, Maluku, and Irian. Matrilineal, namely legal society according to the female line, society based on maternal lineage from this kind of society is found in the Minangkabau, Kerinci, Semendo, South Sumatra, and several tribes in Timor. The third is bilateral or parental, namely society that is arranged according to descendant of parent, namely father and mother together, called bilateral because it consists of maternal and paternal offspring. Form of society like this found in Bugis and generally people in Indonesia, Sulawesi, Daya, and Java. The second based on regional environment or territory. Territorial legal community is a legal community whose members are bound by the same area or area of residence or specific residence. The bond between the member is due to bond, grow, and develop to maturity in the same place. There are three forms of territorial legal society as follows. Um, First, the legal community is called a village alliance. It is a place of residence together where residents are bound to place of residence that include village or village where are submit to the leadership. The example of village in Java and Bali. Villages in Java have a legal association that has a permanent structure. There are administrator, there are territories, there are possessions, and it is generally impossible to disband it. Second, the legal community is called a regional alliance, which is a unit of several resident or territories. It's with it's a leader alone. From like this, for example, the Nagari in Minangkabau, the clan in the South Sumatra, Lampung, and the Kuria in Tapanuli. The third, the legal community is called village union, a combination of several villages or clans located side by side, where each stand alone. Some of these villages join force to do work together for the common good, like Suba in Bali. Based on heredity and regional environment, um, genealogical territorial society is community unit which is a member are not only bound to the resident but also to hereditary relationship in ties of blood ties and kinship. This form of society is found in Curia community with Huta Huta in South Tapanuli community, um, at Mentawai, Nias, Minangkabau, clan with hamlet in South Sumatra, Tiu Tiu in Lampung. The existence of traditional law community, the recognition of adat law community in contained in the provision of Article 18B of the 1945 Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia, which read, the state recognize and respect adat law community unit and their traditional right as long as they are still alive in accordance with the development of society and the principle of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia, which are regulated by law. Article 18B of the 1945 Constitution contains 4 requirements for the existence of adat law as follows. First, the sentences, as long as it is still alive, requires that the adat law must be truly and factually still alive in the community. Second, the sentences according to the development of society requires that the values contained in adat law are still recognized as long as these values are in accordance with the situation and condition and are actual. The third, the sentence in accordance with the principle of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia requires that the Republic of Indonesia and its entire territory where the people live are an inseparable unit, that indigenous people are part of the unitary state of the Republic of Indonesia itself. The sentences regulated by law in place that Indonesia is a country based on law. Okay, thank you. This one, an overview of adat law in Indonesia. Hopefully, the explainer I given can give you an overview about adat law in Indonesia. Sir, Mr. Yusuf.
Hello, Miss Nina. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim, for the very nice presentation. Now let's go to the question and answer session. Do you have any question? If you have question, you can just use the raise hand feature or write your question in the chat box.
I think we have some questions on the chat box, sir.
Okay.
Oh yeah, the question is from Muhammad Aldi. There you said that adat law is an unwritten positive law, but in real life, adat law is obeyed more than the law written by the government. How could it happen? How come? Please give your opinion.
Well, maybe we need to have another question. Then Mr. Yusuf will answer the questions. Maybe let's, after we get 3 or 4 questions, the presenter will answer the questions. Maybe anyone from Uzbekistan? Okay.
Okay, we have another question from Saidamir Okay, the question is, you said that there were 4 law systems. Can you say which one of them is the dominant one or more powerful? Which of 4 law
maybe
system? Yeah.
yeah, maybe they will read the questions themselves.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Mhm.
Can I read my question?
Yes, please.
So my question is, you said that 4 law systems, and can you say which of them is dominant one, more powerful? More Indonesian, I mean.
Yeah. Your name, please.
Said Amir.
Syed Amir.
Said Amir. Yes.
Oh,
If
Syed
it's
Amir.
difficult,
Okay.
you can call me Amir.
Amir. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Amir. Next question. From Zuhra, maybe Zuhra Togai Morodova. Would you like to read the questions?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, sure.
My question is special course for law.
Wait. Can you speak louder?
Sorry. My question is there any special course for adult law?
Yeah.
What was the question?
Is anything? Is there any special court for adult law?
Oh,
Okay. And then the next question from Dinda.
Yes, thank you for the time. May I read my questions?
yes.
How
Sure.
if people do things they are against adult law? Does adult law apply different punishment for local people and outsiders? Thank you.
Okay. Give us 1 minute.
While waiting for the speaker to answer the questions, you participants can type your questions on the chat box, or maybe you can use the raise hand feature to prepare the next question.
Okay, thank you. From Dinda, how if people do things that are adult law? Does adult law apply different punishment for local people and outsider? I think the punishment of adult law is just alienation. So not to like pidana in Indonesia, we call it pidana. Based on Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Pidana, but when we like do taboo in Indonesia, the punishment is alienation. Special court of adat law. Sometimes there are special court of adat law, but it's temporary. We call it ad hoc. From Dutch language, it means temporary. But the government, they don't have special courts about adat law, just temporary. Which of them from about for legal system, who's dominate one of more powerful? Okay, this is the system. Indonesian blended using blended for legal system. Sometimes adat law become system legal system, and sometimes we take the European legal system. But for now, Indonesian is unique because sometimes we take common law from England, like intellectual property right, intellectual property right, we collect the rule by US. I think like that.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Does it answer the question? Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you for the answer, Mr. Yusuf. We still have more questions. The first is, can adat law change by time? And then who have the rights to change adat law? And then the next question is, I want to ask, how is adat law founded?
Yes, adat law is possible to change because it is what's mean perilaku. Yes,
Behavior.
about behavior of the people in that area, and how we funding adat law. Adat law, it's living law, so we can funding at our level, I think.
Yeah, thank you very much for the answer. Very brief and clear. Okay, more questions? Maybe from more students from Uzbekistan, from Tashkent. Or does anyone want to share the different adat law in Uzbekistan? Okay, Saida Amir. Amir, okay, will you read your question yourself?
Of course, I want to know
Yeah,
where
sure.
I can read adat law. What is the source of adat law?
Okay. What is the source of adat law, and then where can we read it?
Yeah, for example,
okay, thank you.
Is there some code? Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Next question. Fatima, would you like to read the questions?
Yes, of course. I wanted to ask, do you have any lawyers who specialize in adat law?
Okay, thank you. One more question, maybe? One more?
Do you have in Indonesia? Do you have lawyers who specialize in adat law?
Yeah. I have heard the question. I have noted the questions. Maybe another question from another student.
I have question.
Yeah, okay. Please mention your name and then the question.
Okay, my name is Anis Marcella and I'm from Universitas Abdurrahman Saleh. My question is, how is the existence of adat law community now and then? Is there any difference, if any, that what makes the difference?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, give us 1 minute. Oh, we have one more question from Natalia. Hello, Natalia. Hello. Yeah, Natalia Deskafik. Yeah, would you like to read the question?
Yes, sure, just a second. This year we
Okay,
have studied
sure.
Islamic law and faced with adat law. So is your adat law similar with Islamic one, or it has strictly Indonesian peculiarities?
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for the question. What is sort of adat law? I think the sort is the people itself, and because adat law is living law, so the sort is the people by self. Where we can read the adat law, for many book in Indonesia, they talk about adat law, but I don't know there are adat law in English. You can maybe read Di Aceh or Adat Reh from Van Vollenhoven lecture at Leiden University, Netherlands, because term about adat law, it was because of Van Vollenhoven, Professor Van Vollenhoven, at book Adat Reh. Adat law, adat reh, when we translate in Indonesia, it means adat law atau hukum adat in Indonesia. The second question, do you have any lawyer specials in adat law? Yes, of course. There have lawyers special in adat law. So the third question, what is the third question, Mr. Yusuf? Oh, it's different, very different, because maybe because people in modern was like this. Every we have information from another territory, another area, and the new generation, like us, we have pertukaran informasi, exchange information. We have exchange information, and we more open for the new generation. Maybe they think the old adat was not tidak berjalan. What's mean, sir? Yeah. So the old adat is not run well. So that make a new habit. The last question. What is the last question?
Okay. The last question is from Natalia Daskevich. This year we have studied Islamic law and faced with adat law. So is your adat law similar to Islamic one, or it has strictly Indonesian peculiarities? Is it?
Yeah, it's different because the Islamic legal system, they're using Al-Quran and based on revelation of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad. So it's different. Adat law, they based on the habit. So the habit, they become a living law. So it's very different.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. We have from Saidamir Omonilayev. One more question, sir. Is there or were there some contradictions between the principles of adat law and the general principles of law?
Okay, this is formal law and informal law. I can call adat law is informal law, and formal law is mean the law is by government. Yes, sometimes there are very much contradiction between the principle adat law and general principle of law. But when we yang memenangkan, when they have contradiction, the winner is formal law.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer. So formal law above the informal law or the adat law. Okay, I think that's all for the question and answer session. Thank you very much for the questions and answers. Maybe I'm now inviting students or anyone from Tashkent State University of Law to share anything related to the Uzbek adat law. Would you, come on, anyone, would you like to share something about your adat law? Maybe Natalia, Amir, Fatima, or anyone else?
Yes.
Sure.
Something similar we have. Something similar we have. For example, we respect people who are older than us, and it's not written in our constitution, but we have such kind of common thing among our whole nation. All of the youngsters, all of people who are younger, always and anytime respects the older one who are older. And this one, I think, added law in our country. And it can be the part of culture of us.
Okay,
So I think,
very interesting. Very interesting.
yes.
Thank you very much for sharing. I think Natalia would also like to share something about the wedding ceremony. Okay, Natalia, please.
Actually, I have already written, but I know that in Uzbekistan we have a wedding ceremony called nikoh, and it doesn't connect it anyhow with our legal registration in special authority organizations. So this a kind of tradition that came also from Adat law, special wedding ceremony.
Special wedding ceremony. So it's not governed in the constitution, but it has the law, right? Its own law.
Yeah. Actually, we have a government registration, but nikah is another thing. It's
okay.
It's dedicated to our traditions.
Is it similar to the Islamic law?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I think we also have that kind of adat law in Indonesia. Yeah. So we call it nikah siri. Yeah. Siri. I don't know if you have the same term. Okay. Thank you very much for sharing.
I guess we don't have such termination.
Pardon?
I guess we don't have such termination here.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for sharing. It's very interesting, and judging from the explanations from the speakers today and then your opinions, I think Indonesia and Uzbekistan have a lot of things in common in terms of adat law. I think we are not really different. Yeah, we're just slightly different. Okay, anyone else? Maybe another opinion, and maybe the last, because it's already 1:30. It's time to call it a day. Anyone? Maybe Miss Monisa would like to add something.
And she's leaving because she has a class.
Oh, okay. Yeah. By the way, guys, I have to inform you that there is a change in our schedule for tomorrow. On this schedule, you can see that we are to start the meeting at 11 o'clock Indonesian time or 9 o'clock Uzbek time. However, we just realized that that would be the time for Jum'ah prayer in Indonesia. So we have to reschedule the meeting. So tomorrow, hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So tomorrow we will start the meeting at 4 o'clock Indonesian time. Yeah, is that correct, Ms. Nina? 3:30 or 4 o'clock?
3:30.
3:30. Okay, 3:30 Indonesian time. So that will be 1:30 in Uzbekistan, in Tashkent. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for coming today. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our lovely presenter today, Mr. Muhammad Yusuf Ibrahim. Thank you very much for your time and for sharing a lot of things related to the adat law with us. Hopefully we can collaborate again in the near future. Thank you so much, sir. Again, everyone.
Maybe should we have a photo session before we close the meeting?
Yes. We need to have a photo session. Okay, yeah, before we close the meeting, let's have a photo session. Please turn on your camera. Ms. Nina, Would you do that?
Wait a minute. Not everyone is on cam. Okay. Slide 2. Thank you. Okay, then. Students, don't forget to fill out the attendance list. I have given the link on the chat box. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Hey, but by the way,
yeah.
I see that some of you are outside the room. And what season is it there? Is it cold now? I think some of you are wearing the season for like winter.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. It's now rainy season in Indonesia. Link for the attendance list.
Yeah, I have shared the link, sir. Oh, it's direct message. Sorry. Let me reshare the link.
Yeah, sure.
Wait a minute.
Oh, okay. Natasha, do you really have snow? Really nice. Would you like to share something about the snow? We have never seen snow in Indonesia. Yeah, Natasha, can you turn on the camera while sharing with us?
It's not snow now.
No, today we don't have snow. Today we have +21, but sometimes we have it.
Oh, wait. I cannot find you. Oh,
Natalia, not Natasha. Natalia.
Oh, yeah. I mean, can you please turn on the camera because it's recorded, so we need to see you. Hello.
On 17th of November, it was snow, but now it's not snow.
In what month?
In November.
Okay. Oh, in November. Yeah, Natalia. So in Indonesia, we only have 2 seasons. Yeah, by the way, they are hot and very hot seasons. Yeah? We don't have snow. Our lowest temperature is probably 29, maybe in Situbondo. It's rarely below 29. What is the weather like there?
Today
is it cold
sunny
now
weather.
there? Oh, yeah. I don't know who is speaking. Can you please turn on the camera?
It's Said Amir. My camera.
Oh, Said Amir.
Amir. Yeah,
Amir. Okay, Amir.
2 degrees of Celsius now.
Can
sunny
you turn
weather.
on the sunny weather?
I have some sunny weather. Yeah, sunny.
Okay.
But I have some problems with my camera.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3:30 Indonesian time and 1:30 Uzbek time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much for you too.
Yeah.
Bye.